watch a strong man broken down. It's a terrible thing.
The Lord's spoken to me. Visions of what's to come. A rise of good against evil.
What are we gonna do?
We'll fight. But once it begins, our brothers and sisters are joined. And we'll number in the hundreds, thousands even.
And we'll rise up. I like the way.
Explain what drew you into this movie that was put together on a small budget with a director/star who had never done anything like this before.
When Nate approached me with the script, I have the feeling he suspected, because I'm always, people think I always work on these like big blockbusters. I got the feeling that he thought I wasn't going to be interested. And he kind of did reverse psychology. His pitch was, I've got a script, there's no studio, there's no release date, we've got absolutely no money to record anything, and there's no real way of it getting done because I have half the amount of days required to shoot it. Are you in or not? So I was trying to explain to him that I would see it as a huge privilege to be able to do the score for this movie, and that he shouldn't think like that at all, and I will do anything and everything to make it happen. And also, it was very beautifully written. When I read the script, because when you have a movie that is a very worthy or important subject matter, you can often forgive some craft not necessarily being up to scratch. But what I thought was amazing about The Birth of a Nation was that the subject matter is inherently important to all of us, but the actual script itself and the mechanics of the filmmaking, especially for someone who, it's not like he's directed loads of movies, and with the unbelievable restrictions he had, I think it serves both functions. I think it's an important thing. It's a movie that has content that we should be thinking about, plus the actual movie is pretty well made, in my opinion.
Oh, Lord, I slept too late.
Mama. You won't have to work today. You free. The battle's begun, Mom.
What were your priorities in creating a musical score that builds the narrative towards those climactic scenes of violence?
I think it's really important in the third act of this film that the nature of the uprising has to feel spiritual. So musically speaking, I was arguing that from when the uprising starts, I was trying to use a lot of choral and uplifting and, for want of a better word, a more spiritual angle, so that by the time you get to that battle scene, it's not really visceral, and it's not. And the important thing about that is that you should never feel it's vengeance. Obviously, you see some terrible things, and people are killed in the uprising, but you shouldn't feel bloodlust. You should be thinking in a slightly more, philosophical way that sometimes there is no other option. So that's why there's a lot of choral music to try and help the audience understand that it's not really to do with vengeance.